Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here with my wrap-up video for Season 3, and I know there was a lot of disappointment out there, but if you watched my previous video, you were kind of already ready for it. There were some positives in this season, but what you're really here for, why is this all going to connect in Season 4? At least I hope it's all going to connect in Season 4, and they actually gave us some pretty good hints and clues that you may have missed that is the case. But first I want to talk about the positives here. What did we find out? Well, the big mystery to me, because almost all of it was solved in the penultimate issue or episode, was what was Hoyt's involvement and what was going on with Wayne's daughter. Also, I was kind of disappointed they didn't say how his wife had died, kind of alluding, I guess, that she died of natural causes, but we find out that his daughter's fine. And basically, if you look at the last episode, almost the entire crime was solved. And I did think that there were some loose ends, some holes, because obviously Hoyt would have had to know what his daughter was up to. He would have had to been involved somehow. But with the initial crime, it's painted as though he is not. Now, really, it's the side story, the story about her actually being alive, marrying her childhood friend later in life, and having a family of her own, that is the schism that may create what could be, in my opinion, an awesome season 4 arc line. And in this video, we're actually going to show you some season 2 stuff. I know there are people out there that were not huge fans of season 2, but this really could get more into season 2 because of the human trafficking angle. Okay, and I want to start with the nun here. Now, as you all saw, the nun, okay, we're just going to play this right behind us.
Merry July. Like summertime, she said.
And look at her face. So this person is actually in the show earlier. This is the abused girl that Wayne's wife interviews. So Wayne never talks to this girl, but she is in the other episodes. You'll notice the scar on her eye right there, Merry July, and
One
here
of the
she
guys
is.
had gotten some of the girls to trick. Just got ugly.
Let's stop it there. Oh, I didn't want to do it like that, but we'll bring it right back up. Listen to what she says right here. The guy had gotten some of the girls to trick.
One of the guys had gotten some of the girls to trick. Just got ugly.
And of course, you can see right there is the scar on her eye. Now, why is the tricking important? Because we find out that there was no sexual abuse, at least in the Hoyt family, but she was being given lithium, essentially kind of stripping her of her soul, her identity. She didn't know who she was. She's going to talk about that Merry July comment right here. I mean, there's no doubt that this is who the woman is. But later in the conversation, she tells Wayne's wife, Amelia, that she should write a story about what happens to the girls that are out here. Hence the human trafficking, hence the prostitution that is alluded to her. Now, actually one of the things I liked about this episode, or this series, was that it ended kind of happily. If you think about it, in the first series, we had really no big closure on the larger conspiracy. And again, I'm hoping that's what season 4 is going to get to, the larger conspiracy, the human trafficking, the child abuse, the occultism, and tie it all together. And the human trafficking in this seems to be a lot more like the human trafficking that was going on in the second season. Remember, on this one, they solve their case. They find out how Will was killed. They find the girl, even though Wayne doesn't remember he finds the girl and Roland doesn't know it. They do. They find her. Roland may be under the impression, and Wayne, with his memory loss, that she's dead, but they fully solve this case. Doesn't happen in the first one. And if you watch the second season, not only does the majority of the cast get killed, but those that survive are on the run, and the bad guys ultimately win. And what I want to highlight here is the human trafficking element of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a video here from the second season. Now, what you're watching is one of the mafioso man making a deal here, but the guy behind him is actually the mayor's son. Okay? So you see here, they're picking up women. There's the mayor's son. He's touching her breast. It's very obvious what they're here to do. They're picking up sex workers. And now what you're going to see is him delivering those workers. Okay? And again, it's like it's a market. You know, he comes up to her, he starts touching her. Look, oh, right there. Where are they going to eventually? Now, this is earlier on, but I assure you, you know, they're going to all sorts of places. And here's just what I can show you of, you know, one of those types of parties. You know, again, they're lined up, they're groomed, and then they're taken to this place where old rich men and drugs are. And by the way, this is it appears to be in either Sonoma County or somewhere like Sonoma County, definitely in California, amongst the redwoods. And you see some of the looks on these guys' faces, and it reminds you of the kind of demonic scenes you see in the first season. And again, anybody that's watched my previous videos knows that I think that they're alluding to kind of a Bohemian Grove type trafficking ring here. With all these people. Now, once again, the young man who is the crooked politician who's working with gangsters, this is all about money and making the highway system, kickbacks, you know, organized crime within our government, which is real, everybody working together. But by the end of this thing, the guy who is the mayor's son, the mayor is killed during the season. What happens to him? Anything happen to him? Oh, yeah, that's right. He gets sworn in. He becomes the mayor. Okay? That's how politics works. So the guy who was running drugs, running women, he wins. Okay? So we gotta hope that there's a possibility that maybe, just maybe, we're going to get, and I think I clipped this, but maybe I didn't. It doesn't look like I have it in here. At the very end, you see Wayne give the address to his son, right? So once he gives that to his son, the son goes to throw it away, but he keeps it. So here's at least how I hope they're going to write this one, guys. And I'm not saying they will. I'm saying that the door is open because Wayne goes to visit but can't really remember. But he does have the address. His son is a detective. What if in the beginning of season 4, it kicks off at Wayne's funeral, and his son is sitting there talking to Roland, you know, because Roland, again, you're watching these episodes, he's going to move in. He's going to live with Wayne for a couple of days. Now, again, maybe the documentary filmmaker, as I stated in my last video, was a red herring for this season, as the dolls didn't pan out, the symbolism did not pan out, and the child trafficking angle of this did not pan out. But remember, they made sure to let us know that this was in the same universe as Rust and Marty. And they made sure to name things like the Franklin scandal, which we've already gone over, was a very real and telling scandal. So what if at that funeral he breaks that out and he shows it to Roland? Now, Roland is still under the impression that she's dead, that she died of HIV, just like the nun said. However, what if he finds out she's not, and then he connects with her, and then finds out something else has happened, or just starts going into that story? We can only hope. I don't know if that is going to be the case. This is going to be one of my shorter videos, but I do promise everybody out there that in the coming months, I will be putting out a kind of documentary style. It won't be a breakdown where I'm in front of a camera, but a documentary style video showing how all 3 seasons intertwine together, how they are connected, and hopefully how we can move forward in the 4th season, because I know there was a lot of disappointment out there, but again, we had a happy ending, and just like every season of True Detective, it was unexpected. You know, the forums did not necessarily get this right. They tried to pin it on Wayne's wife, Amelia, out of the gates, and it seems like None of that panned out. So they did the unexpected. It was shot beautifully. The acting was top notch, and it gave us, kind of this vehicle so that possibly the fourth season could tie all the seasons in together. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. If you liked it, please hit that subscribe button, hit those notifications, hit the like button as well, share it on social media, let people know about this channel. Check out my other stuff. I got a couple of my mainline documentaries on here. I might put my other two up in the near future, and you're going to see a lot of other stuff regarding movies and television and how they relate to the real world. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll